Today, asylum policy in the dark. The government refuses to confirm reports of boats turned back or the future use of lifeboats. Bunkering down, brutal weather disrupts life on both sides of the Atlantic. Disconnect between paddock and plate. Concern for animal welfare ends at the hip pocket. And 2014's hottest tech niche on show in Las Vegas.
Well, it's certainly the year of hype around wearable tech. Whether that hope and hype in the wearable segment comes to fruition, we await to see.
The federal government's declined to comment on claims it's considering transferring asylum seekers intercepted at sea onto lifeboats before turning them back to Indonesia. Fairfax media is reporting that would avoid the problem of asylum seekers being forced back on unseaworthy boats. It follows revelations the Australian Navy turned 2 asylum seeker boats back in the past month, a policy the Indonesian government opposes. Joining me now is political reporter Julie Doyle. Julie, once again the government won't comment on operational matters, so what more can you tell us about the lifeboat proposal?
That's right, Nicole. Scott Morrison's office has again put out a statement today saying that the government does not comment on operational matters.
Transport of food and water. Alison Horn, ABC News, Homestead.
Time now for a check at the markets, and here's Catherine Stolarczyk. And Catherine, there are signs that residential construction is bouncing back.
That's right, Nicole. The long-awaited recovery looks like it may finally be getting underway, as Australia's construction industry has been growing for 3 consecutive months, largely powered by strength in residential building. That's according to the Australian Industry Group's latest Performance of Construction Index, which declined by 4.4 points to a reading of 50.8 in December. But that still puts it in positive territory, as a reading higher than 50 indicates growth in the sector. AI Group says house building is expanding at its second fastest pace in more than 8 years, and apartment construction is also strong. However, construction in the mining sector is actually shrinking, Nicole.
And how's the market faring today?
Well, Nicole, the market opened quite strongly this morning following solid gains on overseas markets, but it's fallen back since then and is now fairly flat. Currently, the All Ordinaries Index is down 5 points and the ASX 200 is off the same amount. Now, the major miners are struggling for a second day, with Rio Tinto down 1% and BHP Billiton about 0.5% lower there. The Big Four banks are doing a little bit better. Commonwealth is the best performer, up around 0.2%, and shares in Qantas are about 1.5% higher there. Well, elsewhere in the region, Japan's Nikkei is gaining ground today. It's up 116 points. And Wall Street recorded its first positive close for the year after the US trade deficit shrank to a 4-year low. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.6% to 16,531, and the S&P 500 added the same amount. Well, taking a check of the Australian dollar now, and it's lower at 89.17 US cents, Nicole.
Thanks, Catherine. It's the latest buzzword in fitness. Wearable technology gadgets have been unveiled at the world's biggest consumer electronics fair in Las Vegas. Technology giants like Google and Samsung are among those hoping to transform the way we exercise.
Las Vegas in January, and the race is on to spot the new gadgets that could change technology. But remember, not all of the bright ideas hatched here will take off.
The daughter of Spain's King Juan Carlos has been caught up in a fraud scandal. Princess Cristina has been summoned to appear in court over accusations of fraud and money laundering at a charity run by her husband. He's already under investigation over the channeling of millions of dollars from the charity into other businesses. No charges have been laid, but the case is hurting the royal family's reputation. A recent opinion poll indicated 2/3 of Spaniards want the king to abdicate. An Afghan girl thought to be about 10 years old has been detained by police after she was found wearing a suicide vest in the Helmand province. Police have launched a manhunt for the girl's brother, who she says urged her to carry out an attack.
The face of a child, just 10 or 11 years old. She's called
health centres and schools across the Northern Territory. Felicity James, ABC News.
Let's take a look at the national weather now, and here's Vanessa O'Hanlon.
We've got onshore winds that are producing isolated showers and cooler temperatures along the New South Wales coast. But here in Queensland, we're also seeing some pretty stormy weather around the Capricornia area. Some places have already peaked up around 76 millimetres. For Rockhampton, you've had around 46. Now, we also have a high that is clearing the skies. In Perth, you're heading for a top of 31 degrees, 38 in Kalgoorlie, and very hot up there in the north as the Kimberley heads up into the mid-40s.
And that's the news for now. Our next bulletin on ABC1 is at 5:30. I'm Nicole Chettle. Have a good afternoon.